Hello, we're going to be doing some product research today, and my filming situation is a little bit different because I'm just super comfortable and I want to make some really good quality video, and it's raining outside and it's cozy and I am cozy. So we're just gonna go and try to find hopefully a $10,000 a month product. That's going to be the goal for us today, and I'm going to be doing a different method, which is the hot new releases of Amazon. So how you get to it is you go to Google and you type in hot new releases Amazon, and the reason for that is because hot new releases are basically items that are selling really well on Amazon that are new, which means they typically have much less reviews than other items, but they are still doing really well. So if they are new on the market, if they have low reviews, and if they are selling well, then that makes us think that we can go into that market and also sell well, since we are new and the reviews aren't super required. So let's go into the categories. It usually shows up books, but let's just pick a different one. I'm actually going to go into automotive. Even though that's a gated category, you can get ungated, and I can talk about ways to do that as well. One of them being is if you have credibility within Amazon, they're going to ungate you for certain categories and it becomes easier. But I've never searched this on YouTube, the automotive category, just because I try to do things more applicable to everyone else. However, if you're doing things that most people aren't going to do, then you're going to get most things that people are not going to get, which is a good return. So we're just going to go into automotive, and let's like I mentioned, it's a gated category, but let's assume that we're getting ungated for here. So how do I go about this, right? Here I want to actually go into categories and go into subcategories, and I'm going to run the drop down extension for all of these items. And again, my goal is to find at least a $10,000 product. So what looks kind of cool over here, let's go into exterior accessories, and you can just kind of poke around, and that's the beauty of it. You just literally run this extension for all of these fronts and you can see the numbers immediately for all of this. So okay, let's do this. Let's just run this, and the reviews are very low. Like whatever this is only has 27 reviews, so that's pretty good to be selling well. So let's see how much it's actually selling. And the good thing is, like, if you do find a product that has a great market and it is something that requires ungating, you can just get ungated and overcome that obstacle. But it's crazy here. You can see these monthly revenues show up, and all of them are so large. And the reviews, okay, let's see the reviews of these. And again, keep in mind, this is gated. So most of the people selling here have an advantage that they won't get easy hijackers. They won't get people just completely getting into their markets because it's harder. But you can see the reviews here. It's loading a little bit slow, but this is the review column. Sometimes Viral Launch kind of messes up the columns too, but look at how low all of these are, and they are doing such high numbers. Okay. Oh my goodness, this just still blows my mind. So someone with only 54 reviews is doing 72,000 a month. 14 reviews with 19,000. I'm curious what this product is. So what you do here is you want to open this person up and see what the product is, because like I always say, we can't assume good sales based on one product. We want to run the entire market for these products and see how well it's doing in the entire market. Okay, so this is Snow Chains. This is probably why it might have regulations. And again, if you're going into something like this, also think about liability. I just want to be upfront and realistic. And a lot of the times I go through a lot of measures to test the product out. I don't just look at the numbers and say, I'm going to go with this. And the same with my students that I teach in my Amazon FBA program is I make sure that they kind of pass all the barriers within products, including liability, because I don't want to just look at numbers, say, it has 14 reviews, it has it has 20 20K a month products, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should sell it. First off, it's gated. Second off, it is something that could potentially be a liability because it's Snow Chains. God forbid something happens to the car and it doesn't work with the Snow Chains, or it's a defective product, then you're going to be responsible. So any item you consider doing, just think about realistically, think about all the liabilities, and think of the the risk that you're willing to take. But just for the purpose of this video, we're going to just go with snow chains, okay? And again, if you make sure that everything is liable and that it's safe and you're doing your due diligence to make sure it's a high quality product, which is what I teach people to do, then you're going to have great returns on it, and you're not going to get yourself into bad situations. But this is also a seasonal item, I would assume, just because snow chains, the winter is only, you know, for a certain time period of the month, of the year, 3 months right now, even though, you know, it doesn't snow where I am, not in the area I live, which is great, so I don't have to experience this unless I go to the mountains or something like that. So if we look at the overall market for this, first I like to look at the reviews, the monthly revenue, and the price, of course. I'm looking for a few reviews that are under 100, so maybe like 3 to 4 sellers on the first page that have less than that are still selling relatively well, and then that can let me know that I can potentially go into that market and penetrate. So when I look over here, there are a lot of people that are selling really, really well. So these are probably sponsored, so they're really low, but let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like pretty good amount of people are selling well. And then I like to see if the people with low reviews are also selling well. So this person with 16 reviews is doing well, and then this person with 13 reviews is also doing well. This person with 8 reviews is also doing well. So I could potentially see this market as something I could go in and do well. I don't like the fact that these people have thousands of reviews, but again, I don't use just the review metric to make my decision. Or just because sellers have low reviews, that doesn't mean that I can do well too. What I like to look at is the general market as well. So the next step from here, I would take this product to phase 2. And there's a lot of moving parts to this product, but to taking it to phase 2. But what I would ask myself is, okay, so the people that are doing well, why are they doing well? And what I would do is analyze every person on this page and kind of see what value can I add that they're not adding yet, or why are the people with 16 reviews doing like really, really well when they are put in comparison to people that have like 800 reviews or 1,000 reviews, because typically people with higher reviews like that really get most of the sales because people trust them. But what that means is that someone is adding a lot of value. And if your product adds more value, then you can make more sales. Example, this person right here. This is essentially like at least a $10,000 a month product, probably even more than that. As we saw, like you can be like doing $13,000 a month with this, and that's really, really great. So like this person, the one we found initially, was doing really well with very little reviews. So right here, this is exactly what I'm talking about with value, is that not only do they provide chains, but they provide some other things, and their listing photo just looks great. There's, unlike everyone else who are showing the tire, they're showing the tire and the layout of the product. And this goes more into the packaging of the product, the value offer, the image, which I cover in my program like A to Z, because I want you to understand that selling a product is not just based on numbers, it's based on the value that you provide. And the value could be like a bundle, a pack, a better product packaging, an improved feature. That's what you're looking for, because that's what's going to determine if your product is successful, is the overall value that you provide. So just because you're looking at numbers doesn't necessarily translate to value, and that's why this person's doing so well, right? So that's the first like layer of this. What you want to do is literally continue on and seeing what else can happen. As we saw, we extracted this one product and it's already showing to be a pretty good market. You just have to look into it and of course add value, check the liability, check everything. But yeah, he only had 14 reviews, I believe, and yeah, he was doing 20K a month in sales. Let's look at someone else. Let's look at this person with 63 reviews and also doing 20K. Let's see what product this is. So this is, okay, a license plate frame. I remember looking into this a while ago and it was a very oversaturated competitive market, but I think they're probably adding something. Let's just take a look at this market. They're probably adding something that makes it stand out more than the rest. That's why they're doing so well. But last time I checked, it was quite a competitive market because the people had a lot of reviews. But again, like I said, if you can add value and you can differentiate yourself, then just go for it. Let's see how these people are doing. So they have a lot of random things, but yeah, the market here just has thousands of reviews. I wouldn't even like looking into this just because most of the sellers do have very, very high reviews, but most people come in here with differentiated designs and get to the first page. But this is kind of cool, glow in the dark. I mean, if you can differentiate and add something really cool to markets like these, you can potentially do well with PPC or getting to the top in another way. But this is just something that has too many reviews, in my opinion. Like literally the first people have thousands, because it is in a sense a commodity, but that doesn't mean stop. That means just keep on going. So do this method that I'm doing right now for all of the other items, like even things like $6,000. Like this person's doing around $7,000 and has 5 reviews. So I would be curious to see what they're selling, because as you can see in this specific field right now, every single product was doing really great numbers. So what I would do is go in for each and single one of these and just do exactly what I showed you. So I don't even know what the heck this is, but it definitely looks seasonal because it has to do more with the winter. So maybe this is something to consider for next year. But this is a windshield ice scraper. So let's me just put in windshield ice scrapers out of curiosity and really study this market too. You can find the most random things that you didn't even know existed. So this is definitely a necessity for those people that live in the cold and the snow, which I'm unfortunately not one of those people. So I'm sorry for you that have to deal with snow every day, but you know, that drives the Amazon sales up as well. And potentially, like, there's nothing wrong with seasonal products. If you are looking into a seasonal product, just make sure you're launching it around the time. If it's summertime, you obviously want to give yourself enough leeway room to get in and have it launched before or when summer is beginning. So begin to get those initial reviews and initial sale volume going with PPC, and same with winter. Right now it's a little bit I mean, it's probably like peak winter time, so it depends on your item and like how fast you can get it manufactured and shipped over. But just be sure that the timing is right. Check the timing and the bestseller rank of these sellers and see how they're selling. But you can see that there's definitely a demand in this market because everyone is doing crazy numbers, and it's such a cheap common product that you don't really have to put a lot of differentiation into it. But people are just, it's flying off the shelves right now because it's the season. Like even the second page, people are doing really well. Pretty much everyone is making sales, even someone with 27 reviews. So like this is just a great example of like types of markets too. Go into the hot new releases, test this out, and see how well you can do. Try it for different categories, not just in this one, in ones that aren't gated, and you will find great products this way. So thank you for watching. All the links that I mentioned are down below, and I'll see you in my next video.